Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Ghoulworm mod, which is being made by user blah blah d blah blah. And what this glorious little piece of work looks at into the game is a horrifying new ambush-based creature just in time to give you some scares for Halloween. And that new creature is, of course, the Ghoulworm, which is just weird looking, and I love it. It's effectively just a mass of ghouls that appear to, I don't know, have been melted together or something along those lines. And yeah, it's kind of based off of the Bloodworm, using a lot of its things, its animations, a lot of its modeling bits, and then just with a lot of ghoul parts that appear to have been melted into it, like ghoul hands, ghoul faces, and of course the terrifying maw of this thing, which seems to be a flayed skull with 4 flayed arms around it. Wonderful. The first time I saw that thing jumping out at me in the world, that was just wrong, but great. It was truly, truly a great thing. Now, it also does come in a variety of colors, so it's not just the same Ghoulworm over and over again, which is always nice to get a little bit of variation in the things trying to kill you. Now, as for how you do encounter them in the world, they're actually gonna be pretty rare. I'm gonna show you some footage I took earlier today, where it took me somewhere around 40 or so minutes to finally encounter these guys, as the idea is that somewhere in the world, they'll just randomly spawn. You'll hear some rumbling underground, and then 1 to 3 of the worms will appear and try to murder you. They are a rare spawn, so it's not going to happen very often, but I think that actually adds to the terrifyingness of the whole thing, because it is such an odd, random, rare encounter. So there's nowhere in the world, at least for now, where they'll be guaranteed to spawn. It could be anywhere, which is pretty great. I do enjoy that. And just overall, these things look so weird. Again, it is basically just a bloodworm with some, like, ghoul parts melted into it. And that front maw is just, oh god, it's just weird looking, and it's great, though. In kind of my head canon, I just keep thinking of these things as, you know, perhaps the radiation finally melted together some ghouls and this is what it created. But I think it fits in quite nicely to the Commonwealth. And again, just, oh, that's wrong, but so right. And a very appropriate addition, in my opinion, for Halloween. A fun, creepy monster just made of body parts that'll rarely pop into the world to give you a good little scare. Now, I'm hoping we get some updates to this. There's been some really good recommendations from users on the mod page for, like, different variations of ghoulworms, like a glowing ghoulworm or a charred ghoulworm. I think that would be really cool to see. Will we? I don't know. One thing that sounds actually quite interesting that the mod maker did post is one of his intents for this was, once you hear the rumbling, that maybe if you stood still, they might go away. But for now, they are just going to pop into existence. He may add that in later as just a fun little mechanic that perhaps you could avoid them popping up if you stopped quick enough to not have to deal with them. Well, let's actually turn these guys' AI back on, now that I'm just kind of standing here in the middle of them, and watch them slither around with just all of that horrifyingness. Oh, wait, I think that one's about to pop at me. Let's watch the maw unfold. It's, oh god, yep, there it is. That's just horrifying. A little blurry because we're getting attacked by multiples of these things, but yes, it's just horrifying. I really do like it. And again, the first time in the world when you have these things pop out at you, it's a pretty jarring thing, because you're just walking around in the world and suddenly you have 4 flayed arms just jumping towards you with a weird skull. And that's It's a fun little encounter to have. Oh boy, and just with all the faces, it's just weird. And the slithering alone of these things is unnerving enough, in my opinion. Again, just, you know, harkening back to the bloodworm situation. But all in all, I think it's a pretty cool little creature. So if you'd like to check this thing out for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description. As per usual there, my friends. But that is gonna be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for the next when, hopefully, we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.